watching The End Zone, sponsored by Lucky Star Casino.
Welcome to a Super Sunday edition of The End Zone, along with TJ Eckert. I am Colby Daniels. It's hard to believe, TJ, that we have reached the end of the NFL season, and at least with this Super Bowl matchup, Chiefs-Eagles, we have a fun one in store. But it's been a fun week in New Orleans, obviously, watching everything play out.
Yeah, it has been, and there's a reason it's the biggest game of the year, really across all of sports. The anticipation just continues to build, and kickoff's coming up, fired up for that, and so many storylines. We have so much we're going to get into during this hour, but there's just so many things we can talk about that I'm looking forward to.
I'm sure that as a kid, and most people put the Super Bowl on their bucket list, right? Yeah. Like, you're a kid, you think about all the awesome sports things you want to do throughout your lifetime, and Super Bowl at one point in time was at the top of my list. I would say it's not even, at this point, the thing I would want to do the most that's Super Bowl related, because I think Super Bowl Radio Row, the week leading up to the Super Bowl, to go do that and experience that and just see all the Hall of Fame players that are walking around doing interviews, and just the build-up to me might outweigh just attending a singular game. Unless my favorite team was playing, that would be different. But just a random Super Bowl, if given the choice, I think I would choose doing Radio Row for a week leading up to the game.
So, Cowboys make the Super Bowl, you're saying, I'm there.
If the Cowboys make the Super Bowl, it's a whole different thing.
But
plus, I may never see that again in my lifetime. So, yeah.
It's interesting because we've had this discussion off air. It's kind of a lot of just like nonsense the week leading up. There is some really good content that comes out of Super Bowl week, and I know we have some. But there's a lot that's just like, what are we doing?
This is crazy.
I don't know who credentials people for the Super Bowl, but I mean, it's just like your dog could get one, it seems like. It's crazy.
Someone asked Travis Kelce earlier this week something along the lines of, do you love Taylor Swift more or the officials giving you like fourth quarter calls?
Yeah.
Like, come on. What are we doing?
Someone asked Mahomes, who's your favorite ref?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Come on. What are we doing? Oh, well, whatever.
But then you have Jameis Winston that's there to save the day and asking goofy questions that at least make you chuckle, right?
A little personality.
You get a little bit of everything leading up to the Super Bowl. This is a fun matchup, as I mentioned. It's a rematch. They're going for 4 overall, a three-peat. This will be their 5th Super Bowl appearance in 6 years. I mean, it's a pretty incredible run that they've been on since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback. AFC Championship game every year that he's been the starter there, but I just can't get past how clutch Patrick Mahomes has been in these Super Bowls, right? I mean, you look at both of the 49ers matchups, he was great at the end. The Eagles game, great at the end. If this is a close game, it just feels like, how can you not expect that Patrick Mahomes is going to do what he does?
I don't want to get the stat wrong, but isn't there a stat they've won how many games, one-possession games in a row? It's double digits, I think, now at this point, right? I don't know if it's 17 or, again, I don't want to get the number wrong, but it's a significant amount of games, one-score games that they've won. Early in the year, people were like, man, they're getting really lucky. They're finding ways to kind of skate. This is just what they do, and they're really good at it.
And Patrick Mahomes, in clutch time, and the numbers prove it, in clutch time in the postseason, is the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, including Tom Brady. Hopefully we don't have the lights going out in this Super Bowl, because the last time it was in New Orleans, I mean, one of the more notable things to happen in a Super Bowl, the lights going out. So as long as New Orleans can fix that issue, right?
That was hard to believe that was the last time, first off, that the Super Bowl was in New Orleans. I'm not sure if that's why. I don't know if that's part of the reason. That was crazy. Hard to believe that something like that could happen in a game of this magnitude. I'm not sure I can remember anything that odd happening in a big game such as that.
If the Chiefs are down big and the lights go out and they make a comeback, can you imagine the backlash?
Twitter will be in an uproar.
It
would be. I saw a graph that fans in Kansas City are rooting for the Chiefs, fans in Philly rooting for the Eagles, and everybody else in the country is rooting for baseball. So can you imagine everybody else that are just ready for baseball to start and they see that happen, and then we don't get into the conspiracy.
It's an unlikable matchup for a lot of people, but I think just in terms of the football itself should be
good.
A tremendous game. All right, let's take a timeout, and we're talking about the Super Sooners that are involved in this game on the other side of the break. That's TJ Eckert. I'm Colby Daniels. This is The End Zone. Along with TJ Eckert, I am Colby Daniels. This is a Super Sunday edition of The End Zone as we get ready for the big game, Chiefs versus Eagles. Now, in the last segment, we talked about how maybe America doesn't view this as a likable game. A lot of people don't like the Chiefs because they've won so much. nobody's ever liked Philly, right, except for people from Philly.
That's it.
So, you might have a hard time finding a rooting interest. Not necessarily the case in the state of Oklahoma, though, because we have 7 total Sooners. I guess 8 if you count Grant Calcaterra, but 7 total Sooners in this game. 5 for Kansas City alone. P. Ryan, Hollywood Brown, Creed Humphrey, Wanye Morris, and James Winchester, who's been a staple during this dynasty.
He has been. You never hear anything bad to be said about James Winchester because he's really good at his job. You don't notice the long snapper unless they mess up. He doesn't ever mess up.
That's right. For Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, obviously, Lane Johnson. And Grant Calcaterra played at Oklahoma, had to medically retire before doctors cleared him, and then he came back and played at SMU for a year. But we're throwing Grant Calcaterra in the Super Sooner category.
He played longer at OU than Jalen Hurts did, didn't he?
That's right. Yes,
so
absolutely.
Why not throw in Calcaterra?
Are we in an era where you can probably label guys with multiple?
I think so.
It just.
And not to get off topic.
5 years ago, that would have been crazy, but now,
Dylan Gabriel came back and threw at OU this past week to get some training in. So it's like he still counts as an OU guy.
He had a Senior Bowl helmet with the Oregon logo, the UCF logo, and the Oklahoma logo. So
why not?
Anyway, it's been a fun week leading up to this game and checking in on some of the Sooners. Hollywood Brown, who was a new addition to Kansas City, was asked about the representation from OU and how they are more represented than any other college in college football.
Boomer Sooner, baby. I mean, it shows that we can produce and that we used to playing, high-level football out there at Oklahoma. So I didn't even know that it was that many of us. So that's a blessing.
He's a guy that I think could be a big game changer in this matchup with his speed, Xavier Worthy's speed, and what they do for that Kansas City offense.
Yeah, it certainly could be, and it's something that they really haven't utilized to their fullest abilities yet either. So it could be something they unleash in the game.
Former Oklahoma running back Samaje Perine, who is now really a third down back, more known for pass catching than running the football, was asked this week if he could duplicate his 427-yard performance against Kansas if the Kansas City Chiefs decided they need him to be a feature guy instead of a pass catcher.
Yeah. I mean, in college and early in my NFL career, I was just a pure runner. Right. All of this third down receiver back didn't come until later on. I just had to adapt. But yeah, if I need to go run 30 times, let's go.
If I need to run 30 times, let's go. I love the shades, by the way.
The shades and the giant beard combo are just—it's an elite pull there from Samaje Perine.
It's such a good look. Oklahoma center and now All-Pro center Creed Humphrey for the Kansas City Chiefs was asked about the three-peat and whether or not going into this one feels any different than the previous two.
For us, you never take these moments for granted. It's so hard to get to this point. So to be blessed to be able to do this 3 times in a row, it's amazing.
Do you ever get to a point where you're like, it's just another Super Bowl? I mean, my gosh, this is their 5th in 6 years.
I don't know. That's such a good question. Being to 0, I can say that I don't know. But for them, it feels like it's almost a routine now. They've done it so much.
You can't ever take it for granted, though, because, I mean, how many players have been there, and you think they're going to have so many more opportunities, and they never go back, right? I mean, think about even when the Thunder went to the NBA Finals here. People thought this is the first of many.
They'll be back.
They've never been back. It's pretty wild. Oklahoma tackle, now All-Pro tackle for the Eagles, Lane Johnson, was asked about the rematch from Super Bowl 57 2 years ago and what Philly needs to do different.
Yeah, I mean, you go back and look at it, there were some plays that we definitely like to have back. But I credit Kansas City for, what they've established and how they've been here consistently for the past 5 out of 6 years. So, I think this year maybe we can be more focused, possibly as a group, and that's really it.
There you go. Be more focused as a group. Jalen Hurts is able to pull that off.
He can. Underrated storyline there that this is this team's second time being there. So the first time you're there is tough. Second time going back, you kind of know what to expect.
Seems like you're just prepared for the craziness that is. And before we take another timeout, I mentioned Jalen Hurts. He's so serious. I kind of enjoyed the fact that some of the goofy questions were sent his way. He was asked about the Tush Push name and whether or not it's better to be the Tush or a push.
Thank you.
Why does he call it Tush Push?
I don't call it that. You guys call it that.
Is it better to be a Tush or a pusher?
Again, you call it that. I call it the quarterback sneak. I keep it very standard.
No answer, but at least we got a smile. Once again, he rarely cracks a smile, so I appreciate the fact that he can even have a little fun in the process.
Got to be the tush, though. I mean, you're the guy who's scoring. Like that you want to be that guy. You don't want to be pushing.
Pushing someone else's tush, right?
Yeah,
there you go. give me the touchdown. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's jump into prop bets. Prop bet pick'em next here on the End Zone. Welcome back to this Super Sunday edition of the End Zone as we get ready for the big game, and everybody gets ready for what is just a national holiday in general, right? I mean, the whole day pretty much is focused on this one event, and it's become something that people celebrate all day long, right? And I think a big part of it has become not only the food that you eat throughout the day, but all the fun you can have at your big game party, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this thing for, I think, since about 2010 at Super Bowl parties, where we come up with a bunch of prop bets, and for fun, because you can't actually gamble in the state of Oklahoma, right? For fun, everybody gets a sheet with different prop bets, and it's just a way to follow what happens in the game and have a good time and be a little bit competitive. So we're going to have our own prop bet pick'em here on this edition of the End Zone. So we will run through these, and these are just things that you can do at home if you want to as well. All right, national anthem over under time, 1:20.5 seconds, so 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah. Jean-Baptiste playing the piano, we think, right? I believe I saw a national anthem he did, I think maybe the NBA, and it went over. So I just went with over. Probably like 2:04, basically.
Okay. 4 of the last 6 anthems have been over 2 minutes.
They like to embellish.
I think they like to embellish. They like to capitalize on the big spotlight, right? So give me the over 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Will Taylor Swift be shown during the anthem?
It should have been how many times during the anthem.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. They do the pan to the celebrities and players and coaches, so I'm sure she'll get shown.
I'm definitely going with a yes. This is probably the one that everybody loses money on, though, in Vegas, right? Because they won't.
Yeah.
But this seems like a no-brainer. Of course, Taylor Swift is going to be shown during a musical act, right?
Right.
I mean, I would be shocked if she didn't.
Yeah.
The coin toss, heads or tails?
We had this discussion. Whenever I would pick the coin toss for games, I always pick tails and just stuck with it. Tails never fails, right? So we'll roll with tails here.
I just love the fact that these are things you can actually bet on in like Las Vegas sports books or FanDuel or wherever you maybe do that stuff.
Degenerates.
I'm going to go heads because I've always picked heads. Also, fun fact, heads has been the coin toss 3 of the last 4 seasons.
Okay.
So maybe the odds are against me.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. Coin toss winner goes on to win the game.
It's an interesting one. I'll go with no. Again, that's just kind of a shot in the dark. So I'll roll with no. I think you basically have a 50-50 chance there, too. So
it's only happened 2 times in the last 10 Super Bowls
that the team that won the toss.
The team that won the loss won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But the last 2 have been the Kansas City Chiefs in the last 2 Super Bowls. So it was 8 straight before Kansas City's back-to-backs.
Still feels like those odds got to even out.
Those odds got to even out. So I'm going to say yes. The coin toss winner goes on to win the Super Bowl.
Makes sense.
All right. First ad shown during the Super Bowl. Not the first ad shown like in the first break, but between these 2, Doritos or Bud Light, who has their ad shown first?
Feels like Doritos has more than 1 ad each year, right? So probably Doritos gets one in there at the beginning, I would imagine.
These are 2 of the big spenders, I think, in Super Bowl advertising. I'll go Bud Light to be on the other side. Same question, which ad shown first, GoDaddy or Taco Bell?
I'm going to say GoDaddy because most of the time I don't even know it's a GoDaddy commercial, and then at the very end it pops up like, oh, okay. So I'll roll with GoDaddy.
I can't tell you what GoDaddy commercials I've seen in the past, but I know for a fact I feel like there's a GoDaddy commercial every single Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm going GoDaddy as well, and maybe we won't even remember what commercial it is.
That's okay. We'll win the bet.
It might pay. All right, first score of the game. Is it going to be a field goal or safety? And that's one category, or a touchdown. How do you score the first points in this Super Bowl?
And that's a real bet. Like that's something that you actually bet on. Yeah, I think touchdown, just because I think typically early in the game you want to be more aggressive. So I'm going to roll with touchdown, but I could see a field goal happening with 2 good defenses.
I think we're going to get more scoring in terms of like maybe going for it, rolling the dice, all that in the second half. So I'll say maybe you're more likely to just put points on the board early in the game than maybe stretch it. So I'll go field goal.
Yep.
All right, this is a fun one. The jersey number of the first touchdown scorer. Will his jersey Be over 15.5 or under 15.5?
It's a really good question. So a lot of the playmakers for the Eagles, sans Saquon Barkley, are under 15.
That's right.
You got Hurts and Devontae Smith,
A.J. Brown. Yeah.
And then for the Chiefs, it's a fairly similar story with Mahomes, and then you got Pacheco's under. All their wide receivers basically are under, but then you got
Kelsey at
Kareem
87,
Hunt,
yeah.
all the tight ends. I think it's going to be under just because I feel like there's more options there.
I'm going to go under also.
Yeah.
I think, again, the Kansas City receivers and Pacheco, not to mention Hurts maybe getting a quarterback sneak.
Exactly.
This, to me, is a no-brainer under. But a fun question.
It is.
Jalen Hurts rushing yards over under 38.5.
Did you set the line? Like, are these your lines?
No, these are this entire sheet are things that you can bet on in Las Vegas sportsbooks.
It's a great line. Chiefs have allowed opposing quarterbacks to go over 39 yards the last 4 games, I think is what I wrote down. Last 4 games. Last game, Josh Allen had 39. So, again, I thought you created the line based off that. That was really good. So I'll go over as well on this one.
I'm definitely not that smart, but I appreciate you giving me credit. Okay. I'm going to take the under. Okay. I think if they're going to get rushing production, it's Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some of the Sooners in this game. Hollywood Brown, total targets, 5.5.
We talked about him being a focal point. I still think he ends up being under. I think most of the quick stream stuff's going to go to Xavier Worthy and not Hollywood Brown. So I'll say maybe he gets 4 targets.
All right, I'm going to go under also. Okay. Samaje Perine, total receiving yards, 6.5.
Feels like a really low number. Just give me over. A 3rd and 13, he'll catch for a 10-yard gain, and we'll cash that.
If he catches 1, it feels like it's going to be over 6.5. So I'll go over for Samaje Perine. All right, Patrick Mahomes, pass attempts, 36.5.
He has not gone that high in quite a while.
Right.
So I'm going to roll with under because I think they're going to try to limit possessions, keep the Eagle offense off the field. So give me the under.
All right, I'm going to go under also. I think they're going to try to run the football a lot and maybe condense the game because their defense is so good. 4th down conversions, 2.5 total.
Oh, I think it's going to be over.
Give me over as well. Let's go first play of the 4th quarter, run or pass?
Pass.
All right, and I will go run. Kendrick Lamar halftime songs?
I don't know very
10
many.
10.5,
yeah, I'm
over,
going to go under 10.5.
All right, and last one, Gatorade color dumped on the coach.
Got to be orange.
Give me purple.
Okay.
Purple for the win. All right, Chris Harris, Denver Broncos Super Bowl champion, joins us next here on the End Zone. Welcome back to the End Zone along with TJ Eckert. I am Colby Daniels, and we welcome in a very special guest. He was a Super Bowl champion almost 10 years ago when the Broncos beat the Panthers, and he's one of the best cornerbacks of the last decade. He is Chris Harris Jr., the Oklahoma native. Chris, great to be on with you, and hard to believe that Super Bowl was nearly 10 years ago.
I know, man. We finally broke the streak of not making the playoffs this year with the Broncos, so it's crazy, man. It took us 10 years to break that. And hopefully, man, we can get back to the mountaintop, man. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs, dominate right now.
I asked you, Chris, I texted you. I said, do you have that ring handy? And you said, yeah. And you have it on now, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I brought it for y'all, man.
Oh, there it is.
Look y'all can see it, man. Get a little
Look at that.
It's kind of dirty, man. I got to clean it up a little bit, man. Make it polished. Make the stones come out a little bit more, but... Now, man, they're way bigger, and they're coming in with they're putting 2 rings in one now, with the new style of the Super Bowl ring. So they're pretty cool.
Chris, I had to refresh my memory on Super Bowl 50 because it's been a while. So I was going back through the highlights earlier this week, and I didn't realize you had a sack in the game, but it wasn't on Cam Newton. It was sacking Ted Ginn.
Yeah, they tried to do a double pass. And I was able to contain Ted Ginn and kind of force him to run. So, they gave me a sack on that. So I'm like, hey, I'll take it, man, because he was trying to throw, I was able to get a sack on there. So I got my first postseason sack.
That's crazy. I'm curious, we've talked a lot about your path and your journey. I think you probably always had that self-belief that you would get to that point and get to a Super Bowl. Did you ever actually think that was going to happen throughout this whole journey, this whole process that you went through of getting there to the league? Did you actually think yep, this is going to happen?
Man, my first year, I was really kind of happy to just make it and be in the league, and then I started getting rookie accolades. And then I realized, I'm one of the top rookies, so I can be one of the top players in this league. And going into my second year, that's when I really knew that I could be a player in this league and, really be able to be a Pro Bowler and All-Pro. And I just took that confidence and ran with it, man. And I knew we had a squad once we got Peyton, and we would have an opportunity to play in the playoffs and have a chance to win a Super Bowl. So it happened really fast, man. I kind of came in hot. So not a lot of people don't remember that. You know, as a rookie, I was able to make all rookie team. So I came in pretty hot, and that from there I kind of built on that confidence, man, at an early age, and I realized I could be that good in the NFL.
How long does it feel like game day lasts up to the point that the game finally kicks off? Because as someone that's just viewing the game, I feel like the day just lingers forever before you finally get to kickoff.
Yeah, man, it's 2 weeks. Think about it. You're preparing 2 weeks. This is the only thing that's on TV. Everybody's dissecting the game. You're studying like crazy. I remember the first week, you know, I don't think I came out the house, you know, out the room. You know, I was locked in and just studying. And by the time we got to San Francisco, I already knew everything that the Carolina was running. I watched literally every game they played, and I was ready to go, man. So when we got there, man, it was just fun. It was kind of laid back. Everybody knew the plan, and we felt very good going into the game.
Everybody always, coaches will say, hey, man, just treat it like any other game, right? That's always the mantra, right? Is it impossible to do that with a game like this?
Yeah. Oh, it's impossible, man. Just because, like you said, it's longer before the game, warm-ups. When you go back, when you come out and warm up, but when you go back in, it's usually like 15, 20 minutes. But no, in the Super Bowl, it's another hour, right? Halftime is a lot longer. Right. So you have more time in the locker room, which that could be bad for you. You know, some guys like to stay warm and keep moving. Right. But it also can be good as a coach. Right. You can revamp your whole playbook, you know, your whole game plan in that halftime just because you have so much time to study at that point. So it has its negatives and it has its positives.
How valuable was it having been there once and going through it a second time? Because obviously the Chiefs are now playing in their 5th Super Bowl, 3rd straight. Yeah. This is a rematch of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, so a lot of these Eagles players were in the game 2 years ago. So most of the players on both teams have been through this process. But what did you find of value to go through it a second time?
Well, the first time I had torn my ACL in the playoffs in that divisional round. Right. But just going there, and then we had a lot of guys that went there. It just made us hungry, you know, to come back that second time. If you're looking at it from the Eagles standpoint of losing, you know, that just made us hungry. It made us want to, you know, really take care of business the second time. And, you know, I know the Eagles are going to be ready. You know, Coach Fangio's done a hell of a job on that defensive side of the ball. He was one of my coaches. So I kind of know that the Eagles are going to be ready. But, man, it's hard to knock off Mahomes, man, in this run that they're having. And so I guess an early pick, I would say I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs.
Man, I can't believe you just said that. There's people
Division
It's sad, but it's hard to go against the three-peat.
I get that. So walk us through the game, man. Like you're playing, you finally get there, the game happens, that you make a play. Obviously, we were talking about the sack earlier. Clock's winding down. You're about to win the Super Bowl. Like, what are those emotions like for you?
Oh man, you know it's unbelievable emotions, you know, especially as being able to accomplish. Only thing I didn't get to accomplish was getting a Defensive Player of the Year, you know, in the NFL. So you want to hit all those marks, you know, All-Pro, Pro Bowl, you know, and being able to get that Super Bowl. You feel like once you get that Super Bowl, you can kind of sit in the room with these guys, and you know, the next step would try to be a Hall of Fame. So getting that, man, that's the pinnacle. And you know, just winning in Denver. We had the best fans. You know, it's always tough for teams to come see us in Denver, especially during the no-fly zone time. We always had a great atmosphere. So it was just great joy from everybody.
Chris, we'll wrap up with this so we don't take any more of your time. But what's on the menu for game day for you?
Oh man, you know, I try to keep it light, man. I always try to get like some pasta, some spaghetti. You know, probably a little light chicken. You know, always try to stay light, you know. Might get a fish, you know, something like that. Try to give me some energy, man. I see guys eating steak, you know, the D-line, they eat burgers, steak, you know. Hey, I can't eat all that before the game and go play. See, the big guys, they don't really have to, especially on the defense, right? The defensive guys, they can eat whatever they want, you know, and be at their weight and, you know, still go out there and ball. But us guys that got to run, I'm in a track meet. right? Every game is a track meet
There
for
you
me,
go.
so I always try to eat some pasta, make sure I get maybe some fish, and was ready to go.
Nice.
Chris, we appreciate it. Let's do this again soon.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. Y'all can welcome me back anytime, man. Especially my Oklahoma boys, man. I love y'all, so
Appreciate you, Chris.
definitely glad to join.
Yep.
There you go. Chris Harris Jr., Super Bowl 50 champion, and hopefully wearing a gold jacket before too much
doubt,
longer.
man.
All right, that is TJ Eckert. I am Colby Daniels, and we're back in a moment here on the End Zone. Welcome back to our Super Sunday edition of the End Zone. Along with TJ Eckert, I'm Colby Daniels, and we are joined by Brent Hickman, owner of Brent's Cajun Seafood in Edmond. We wanted to do a food segment for this show because, I mean, what's better with football than grubbing all day long, right? I mean, it's part of what has become this national tradition. And this is perfect because the Super Bowl's in New Orleans this year, and the Cajun food that everybody has been raving about on social media all week in terms of those people that made the trip. Yep. I mean, who better to tell us what the delicacies are than my man Brent?
Absolutely. Kobe and I have been working together for a long time, good friends. I got my man Jorge here, my sous chef.
Yeah.
So he's amazing. And today we're going to do some chicken and sausage and shrimp jambalaya. That's a staple down in New Orleans and Louisiana. Right. Then we're going to do some embroche, which is a shrimp wrapped in bacon with a jalapeno and a little stick. The term embroche is on a stick. So that's why it's called that.
Okay.
And then we're going to do some beignet bites for dessert.
So,
all right.
So this right here is the setup for the jambalaya, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
We have our chicken breast that we're going to slice up, our shrimp, our Creole sauce, garlic, a little seasoning, bell peppers, and sausage, andouille sausage and onion.
Okay.
So, Jorge, you want to cut up for me a little bit and we demonstrate it?
A little master class here from Jorge. Jorge said that if you don't want to cry during cutting onions, get a better knife.
That's right.
Which is I had no idea. So that was a fun fact that I didn't learn before.
And you want to cut them at about a 1/4 inch.
Okay.
There you go.
All the smells, my
know.
stomach is rumbling already
I know.
just with the smells. I am so excited.
Yeah.
And we got our andouille sausage, a little spicy, but it's good. You'll like it.
I've heard everybody that has made the trip to New Orleans this week talk about how, especially for the first time media members that have been there and have toured the city and eaten, like there's nothing like the Cajun food.
And the smell when you're just walking down Bourbon Street, you know, unless it's after 2 in the morning.
Then there are a lot of different smells, right?
Yeah, not necessarily food smells there for sure. What's a prep time on something like this, Brent?
This takes about 45 minutes to cook, start to finish.
Okay.
You want to saute your onions and your garlic and everything and kind of get them to sweat a little bit. That way the flavors release. And then you start adding your chicken and your shrimp and everything. And then you finish it off with the Creole. Then you cook that in the rice.
Okay.
I love anything with all the chicken and sausage and shrimp, right?
Yeah. I mean, the smell is amazing. You know, and with the magic of TV, boom, it'll be ready.
I was gonna say, yeah, you brought a finished product too, didn't you?
We did.
Yeah, okay. Because that's what we're fired up for is the sampling. This is too right here is a master at work. I don't. That's terrifying to me, doing it that fast. But there you go. That's a good shot. Practice.
I'd be, yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
I'd be in a cast the next time we did an episode of the End Zone. Look at those shrimp. Oh,
big old shrimp.
Man. Golly. You can just hear it too. Boy.
There you go. He's a little faster than me.
Well, you got a bum shoulder right now. You're working
I do.
through. Yeah, so yeah, that's okay. We have an excuse for you, bro. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And then your chicken.
Chicken breast.
Yep. Okay.
Always go white meat.
Okay. Nice. I just made chicken earlier this week, and it does not look or as expertly cut such as this. I can tell you that much.
We do everything in little cubes as far as the meat. That way it gets evenly spread out through the dish.
Okay.
Because, you know, you got those people in line.
yeah.
You know, at the party, you got that
That's
one guy
right.
who's going to
That's
go
right.
through 3 times before you got one time.
All right.
All right, so this is the mixture.
Right.
Yep.
So you want to go ahead and pull that up?
finished product back behind. Everybody close your eyes. We cooked it.
This is the first of 3, by the way.
Yeah,
so we got 3 delicacies here that we are about to unleash and may end me for the rest of Sunday.
Yeah, listen,
This will last.
This is what we've been talking about this for a while, and I'm very excited that we have finally made it to this point where we get to sample. So this is going to be.
Here, I have some forks and stuff for you.
Is this popular? Pretty popular at the restaurant as well?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. It's one of the top dishes. It's a staple.
Yeah.
It's like etouffee is a staple.
Sure.
Gumbo is a staple.
Sure. Oh.
Especially for anybody from that region, that's like one of the go-tos that you just got to get.
Right.
Look at that. That looks spectacular.
We, the viewers at home are going to be very jealous.
Oh, the smell is just amazing.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, what better way to do the Super Bowl in New Orleans than with some Cajun food?
Go ahead, TJ, jump in.
Look at that fork for me, Jorge. Appreciate that. Okay. I feel bad that they're sitting here working and
I can taste it. I can taste it just from the smell.
I have no manners. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Thank you, Jorge.
Oh man.
All right.
That was good stuff right there. Did you make this too? This is a you thing? Yeah,
it was.
That was good.
Oh.
Yep.
You know, and it's authentic. I'm from Louisiana and grew up in the restaurant business. Family's been in the business since 1934. So.
How was it? Good.
Amazing. Amazing.
Unreal.
Absolutely.
Feel like I'm in New
Worthy
Orleans.
of any big party. All right, what's our next? What's dish number 2?
We're going to do the embroche. So we're going to take the shrimp. Oh, you have this is the shrimp, right? Yeah. So I did that one fast. We need the tail on this.
Take a look. Why not? Man, I'm going to keep eating. You guys keep working.
All right, we're going to take the vein out. A lot of people have a misunderstanding. The black part that you see on top, that's the vein, blood vein. It's the underneath is where the waste goes.
Okay.
Wouldn't have known that. I'm gonna keep eating.
Go for it, yeah.
Why not? You guys.
And when you do your peppers, whether it be bell peppers or jalapenos, you always want to cut the white out. The white is real bitter.
Okay.
So you want to just get the.
Interesting.
Just get the meat.
You want to grab the final product while he's wrapping
absolutely.
this part up?
It's on his side.
You got it? I guess I could have done it.
Here we go. Yeah.
He was working. I'm standing right here. I could have done it. My hands were full.
Oh, look at that. Can I just jump in?
Absolutely, man.
Go ahead.
I know you want
These
one.
these are some of my favorites.
Oh man.
Yeah, just put that real quick.
Yep. That's good stuff.
Unbelievable.
Woo! I got a little kick to it. The jalapeno.
Yeah.
Should have known.
So we put the jalapeno right there. We wrap it in bacon. And if you notice, the bacon goes all the way around, so you don't have just a big fat piece of bacon because it won't cook all the way through. All right?
That is spectacular.
I know.
Are we doing rock, paper, scissors for who takes that?
Well, I already took one, and I'll take more. And I know there's a dessert. You think you want to show that?
Yeah. Let's show the dessert before we run out of time.
I was gonna say, yeah. Let's grab that dessert and just show it off and tell us what it is.
We're gonna for dessert. We're gonna do the traditional New Orleans style beignet.
Okay.
All right. I did not bring all the stuff to
That's
make
fine.
the beignet
That's
because
okay.
it's real messy.
Yeah.
That's nothing
I'd
wrong
have
with
flour
that.
everywhere.
And time and all that. Yeah.
Have a lot of flour everywhere.
Show it off as we wrap and go to break. Look at that
So
thing.
these are the beignet bites.
Oh man.
And you have to go to Cafe Du Monde. Anybody that's down there, do yourself a favor.
The world famous, right?
But I got some powdered sugar for you now.
Oh, need that too, huh?
Got it?
Woo! You guys don't know
That
at
is
home, but it's very
fantastic.
delicious.
It is amazing. The beignets.
We need it closer from me eating. That's what we need.
We don't have the powdered sugar.
That's all right. That's all right.
We're good with
They're
that.
still good. Yeah, the rum sauce.
Got sauce back there too.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna put some sauce on these beignets, and TJ and I are gonna pig out during the commercial break. But we'll be back in a moment. Thanks to Brent from Brent's Cajun
Thanks, Brent.
Seafood
Thanks, Jorge.
for joining us here on the End Zone.
You bet.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I will.
Welcome back to the End Zone. I still have that sweet taste of the cherry rum sauce on the beignets that I'm going to be tasting for a while. I'm going to have dreams of that flavor for a long time.
Agreed.
So excited
awesome.
to crush some more food throughout the afternoon as we count down to kick off of the big game. This is one of those days where I think everybody has like favorite halftime performances or favorite commercials, right? Favorite games. Anything stand out to you about your favorite Super Bowl memories?
Big Steelers fan, so the one that they won against Arizona was memorable for me.
Which was a great game.
A great game.
Yeah.
And then Katy Perry with the shark.
The shark, that's
yeah,
right.
That stands out as a memory as well.
Obviously, the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson halftime performance probably is the one that people would reference first.
Iconic, yeah.
Because of what took place. I have a special place in my heart for Super Bowl 27, which was the first of the Cowboys 3 in the 90s.
Yeah.
Partly because it was played in the Rose Bowl, which the view was spectacular. It was a complete blowout. I mean, that one is always going to resonate with me. And then Whitney Houston singing the national anthem in the early 90s was also amazing.
We talked briefly, but I loved the kind of nostalgic feel of was it Snoop, Eminem?
Yeah, that was a great one also.
That was a fun halftime show, too. I enjoyed that.
And give me Terry Tate, office linebacker, for the best Super Bowl commercial ever. I loved that series. All right, we're going to come back and wrap up the show with our game pick next here on the End Zone. All right, TJ, the big game is tonight. Kansas City going for the three-peat. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Chiefs-Eagles, what do you think?
Chiefs win it. Feels like there's just so much of just good vibes around that team. Three-peat hadn't happened, might as well happen here. Go Kansas City.
I think it's a close matchup. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
And in a close game, are you betting on Jalen Hurts or are you betting on Patrick Mahomes? Mahomes is literally the most clutch quarterback in NFL postseason history.
Yep.
Give me the Chiefs. Everybody enjoy your Super Sunday. For TJ Eckert, I'm Colby Daniels. Have a great weekend.